I call to order the Monday, November 25th, 2024 meeting of the Jenkintown Borough Council. And at this time, I will ask Mayor Lerman to lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to move on with the roll call. Councilor Khal.
Here.
Councilor McCaffrey. Councilor Bartlett did ask to be excused. Councilor Narva.
Here.
Councilor Ballard. Here. Councilor Connors here. Councilor Saltesiak.
Here.
Councilor Panko.
Here.
Councilor Lewis. He did ask to be excused. Councilor Spindler. Councilor Bruno.
Here.
Councilor Marlowe.
Here.
Members Locke, please record a quorum. Approval, I need a motion to approve for the approval of the minutes for September 25th and October 22nd.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Members Locke, please record a unanimous vote. Number 5, approval of payrolls, Councilor Ballard.
I move for approval of payrolls dated October 31st and November 14th in the amount of $213,934.20 and invoices totaling $401,844.59.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Manager Locke, please record a unanimous vote. Before I move on to public comment, I just want to note that prior to this meeting, we did have an executive session to discuss matters of personnel and public safety. So now I will move on to public comment.
Objection, President Connors. Could you be a little bit more explicit pursuant to the case law interpreting the Sunshine Act?
Certainly. So the council met at 5 o'clock in the executive session to discuss public safety matters with regard to preparedness with the police chief. As a part of that, there were also discussions related to personnel matters relating to obviously and individuals within the police department.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I will now move on to public comment. If there is public comment, please state your name and address for the record. I guess.
Hi,
Yeah.
Mary Mertens, 416 Main Street. 2 comments. One regarding the conditional use hearing tonight. I know the zoning board originally voted against the zoning and then approved the park bill. I looked at the notes and it seems to me we're still 30% short on parking. This is approved, I understand that. But in the conditional use, items 3 and 5 refer to traffic congestion and traffic control, and I think the parking, the lack of parking on the and the other one was a question regarding, I think it's on the agenda, the parking ordinance tonight is going to be put up for advertising. And I don't have issues with the ordinance, we did discuss it some, but some of it, my neighbors and I were a little unclear what the final version of the ordinance was. So there are a few things that were discussed in that last meeting that didn't seem to be pinned down. So I think the ordinance seemed well thought out and I don't have any major issues with it, but it just wasn't real clear what the final version was going to be.
I missed your name, I apologize.
Mary Mertens.
The hearing was postponed.
Hasn't been postponed yet. So it's Mertens, right? Not Mertens. So council had received communication from the applicant that they're going to be continuing that hearing until next month instead of 11. So any comments you have, we would encourage you to come back next month and get it on the record. But even if they're not on the record, council heard them, so we'll certainly be aware of those procedures.
So thanks.
And I do not have any clarification on the parking ordinance with anybody else.
So the chief sent me a copy of the ordinance language, or say the changes in the parking ordinance that we would like to include as part of the advertisement. Obviously, I haven't advertised anything yet, so I can't say here's the exact thing that it would look like. I'm sure that you would be happy to share with you a copy.
But yeah, and that's what I thought. I just wanted to make that on the record.
Okay. Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Manager Locke, are you aware of any public comment by way of social media or by way of email?
Not by way of email or social media.
Thank you. Then I will, I'm going to go out of order and move to the order of business, regarding the hearing, the conditional use hearing for 459, 471 Old York Road,
Yep.
LLC.
If I may take that over from you?
Sure.
President?
Go ahead.
So at this time, I would like to open up the conditional use hearing for 459, 471 Old York Road. As I had just mentioned during public comment to one of the individuals here tonight who was interested, the borough had communicated with the applicant on this matter, and the applicant was agreeable to continue this matter to the December 11th, 2024 meeting at 7 p.m. here in this room. What I would ask at this time is for council to take a motion or a vote as to whether you'd like to grant that continuance. Just so you're aware of the reason for the continuance, I had asked for the continuance. On your agenda tonight, you had a full-packed agenda. You also had before this a budget hearing meeting, and before that you had an executive session. So I think you probably would all be grateful to not have to be here later tonight for a conditional use application, and the applicant had kindly agreed to come back on December 11th to do that. So I just want to make sure that was clear. That's why the continuation.
We appreciate the applicant's understanding. Mr. Hitchens, I'll go ahead and read I move to continue the case to the December 11th Borough Council meeting at 7 p.m. at Borough Hall in Jenkintown. I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Manager Locke, please report the unanimous vote.
Additionally, for those who are watching tonight, or those here in the room, please be aware we will not be re-advertising this. That's why we did this formally on the record. It's been announced. So we would encourage everybody who's interested in the application to attend that night and appear in order to make your comments known as a part of the stenographic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And there was also Valley Floors, Tourism and Convention Board has also moved their presentation to the December meeting. So I will move on to reports. Mark Dickerson is here from Pennoni and Associates.
Good evening. Our report's been filed. I can take any questions on it. Just a couple updates from the last week or so. The CDBG program project is moving along nicely. We're coordinating with the contractor as required. The grocery store is paving. They were out on York Road today. They're moving into Winfield and Washington tomorrow and they extend to Wednesday. Weather permitting. So just keep an eye out for that.
It looks good.
Yeah. I can't wait to see Washington come along. So they'll use it. And then lastly, the grocery store is also proceeding with the installation of the new controllers at all the traffic signals along 611 and the ABS time clocks, which will help because the previous system is getting enough better coordination. That's why we're seeing a lot of backups west of Greenville. So just keep an eye on that and great Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Public Works Department, Foreman Riggins, he is not with us, but I'm sure Manager Locke will tie any Public Works information into his manager's report. Solicitor's report, Mr. Hitchens.
Thank you, Mr. President. Solicitor's office continues to provide legal services on an active and requested basis. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor's report, Mayor Lerman.
Thank you, President Connors. I wanted to thank the record and Chanel Department for the pumpkin drop this year, as well as the Jenkintown Public Works and of course the Jenkintown Fire Department. I was unable to attend this year, but the other event that's upcoming is the Jenkintown 150th Time Capsule dedication, which is planned for December 8th at 11 a.m. in the town square. So everyone's invited to that. That's it.
Great, thank you. Manager's report, Manager Locke.
Mr. President, we've been working on the budget. Tonight we held our fifth and final budget meeting, public budget meeting.
You would ask that you vote to advertise that later in the meeting. The holiday tree was installed by Public Works. They're working diligently on the leaf route. They have a new piece of equipment that they've trained on, and it's a new piece of equipment, so they're learning. They use the big suction hose that you just have to wrestle with. It's not hydraulically controlled. There's a safety feature, and it'll make it safer for the guys not injuring their backs and yanking on the suction hose. Along with that comes there's two joysticks. It's almost like a computer, and they have to learn how to sweep that right. Some streets they had to make a second pass at it if it wasn't perfect or acceptable. But that's really part of the team. They're doing a great job with it. We got the emblems for the trailer. All the decals were approved today. It says Jenkintown Borough Public Works, but it also says this was funded through a grant from the PADEP, which is a requirement of the grant. So that one we couldn't get the paid for. I can answer any questions. We've been working on the budget. I really don't have a whole lot to report other than that.
Okay. Thank you, Manager Locke. And my apologies, I did skip over the police chief's report. So, Chief Scott.
Thank you, President Connors. Obviously, we have a packed agenda, so I submitted my report to all council. If you have any questions or concerns, please.
Well, I would ask, yes, I do actually, but it goes back to the budget. I asked you, Manager Locke, and Councilor said he's actually get that new car. It doesn't really make sense to get a new car next year. Just wondering if that.
Any other questions for Chief Scott? Okay, I will move on to the order of business. Number one is taken care of. Number two, Councilor D.
You have Act 49 of 2024, purchase of uniform pension service credit. I make a motion to adopt and enact Act 49 of 2024, allowing the eligible uniform employees to purchase fire service credit in the borough's pension plan for uniform personnel.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Manager Locke, please record the unanimous vote. Number three, Councilor Ballard.
The 2025 borough budget, permission to advertise. I make a motion to publicly advertise for adoption the 2025 borough budget as presented.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions?
I have a comment. If the budget, I would vote yes to it, but if the budget has that car, I would be right in it's Pennoni. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Manager Locke, please record the unanimous vote. Number four, Councilor Ballard.
The 2025 plan, tax relief anticipation note. I make a motion to approve taking a tax relief anticipation note in the amount of $350,000.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions? Yes.
This is for the public's benefit. Can this just be explained what this means, this sentence?
Maybe I can help with that.
That's quite all right.
If we did, okay. So, as Council will probably remember, for the past several years, at the beginning of the year, you've taken out a train in the amount of $350,000. It's a temporary note, which essentially floats you money at the beginning of the year in anticipation of you getting your tax revenue, which is later on in the year, because your tax revenue comes from property taxes as well as from your Act 511 business service taxes, which don't necessarily happen at the beginning of the year. So in order to make up for that immediate shortfall that exists because you don't necessarily have the funds, the Pennsylvania law allows you to take out this temporary note or this temporary loan from the bank. However, as a TRAN, it can only be for that specific calendar year. Meaning your current TRAN for 2024 has to start at the beginning of 2024 and has to end in 2024. If it begins to go over into additional years, then it's a different type of obligation which has different requirements. So the one thing I wanted to interject here is that the motion that's before you tonight is to authorize staff to begin the process of preparing the TRAN for your consideration at your first meeting in January. Pennsylvania law requires you to have to adopt it in the year in which it's going to be used. So we obviously wouldn't want to adopt the 2025 trend in 2024 because that would not help you. So that's why you give us authorization. I've already communicated a little bit with the finance director about what we need to get from the bank in order to get all the paperwork ready for you to be able to get going at the beginning of the year. Do you want to add anything else? All right. Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Manager Locke, please report the unanimous vote. Number 5, Councilor Ballard.
The Waterworks Sewer System Management Software. I make a motion to approve the contract with Waterworks Sewer Management Software for the annual fee of $5,500.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions?
Could I ask Manager Locke just to explain a bit what the software will do and how it will help the borough manage its sewer?
The software, they came in and presented at a couple committee meetings. What the software does is allow us to manage the system, track the costs of everything, and be able to set a fair sewer rate for the borough. We're in the habit of doing this every 4 or 5 years. We pay for a study, and this will allow us to have continual access to it. It includes the technical assistance that they give, and the system looks like they will really push and shoot. For knowing what the rate should be, because when you have a bond coming up or an expensive project, you can fit that into the scenario and see how it goes out. And the best way to prepare for that would be at this point.
And also seeing what the implications are, changes in costs that the borough's going to face as the system downstream changes.
That's good.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Manager Locke, please report the unanimous decision. Number 6, Councilor Saltizia.
This is the T2 mobile parking enforcement software and devices. I'm making a motion to approve a purchase of T2 mobile parking enforcement software and 2 devices in the amount of $8,498.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Manager Locke, please report the unanimous vote. Number 7, Councilor Bruno.
Short-term property rental ordinance. I make a motion to advertise for adoption the short-term property rental ordinance.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions?
Thanks for all the time that you spent on this. It's really thanks really just the planning commission.
Okay, so thank you to planning
Very
commission
hard.
because we had, I think, in today's world, we really do need this.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you for attending those planning commission meetings on top of all your other meetings and reporting back to council.
It's sort of like giving birth. 2 years, it's a long time coming.
Are there 2 or 3 salient points that could come to our attention?
I think that not the salient points. I think that what it will provide, I think, is some clear direction as to what people will and can do, and will be able to do regarding short-term rentals. So there will be no surprises for anyone in terms of either the person that owns the property or those of us that are monitoring it. I think that again, especially we see that Park did an incredible job in researching all the surrounding communities and some other communities in Pennsylvania and really synthesized. I think that's no stone unturned. And thank you also to Patrick for reviewing it all.
Yeah, I was just going to add if that's all right. So I think maybe something to take away is, so the use will be permitted by special exception, not by right, by special exception, with a specific list of criteria that an applicant must meet, which addresses parking and density, meaning how many you can have based on the size of the building. Additionally, this will only be permitted in the TR, the TC districts. It also revamps your licensing requirements to make sure that if you're doing an Airbnb or something like short-term rental, you have to obtain a license and you have to pay the criminal taxes as a
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Manager Locke, please record a unanimous vote. Number 8, Councilor Pennoni.
Okay, I think that Manager Locke said that number 8 is not coming to our attention tonight, is that right?
That is correct. We'll be back in, January.
Okay. Number 9, parking ordinance 172, seeking permission to advertise. I make a motion to advertise for adoption of parking ordinance 172, Article 3, 172-20, /27, and Article 4, 172-28 through 34. And these are aspects of the current parking ordinance that will be revised.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions?
Does this relate to permit parking?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Manager Locke, please record a unanimous vote. Number 10, Councilor Pennoni.
I make a motion to approve the paving repairs by P&M Construction in the amount of $4,360, and these are repairs to town square and municipal parking lots.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Manager Locke, please record a unanimous vote. That ends our order of business. Is there any new business and or discussion to be brought forward?
Yes, I have something. I'd like to, if we can do it tonight, see if we can have free parking for the holidays for our downtown business, waive for employees.
I'm confused by what you're saying.
I want to give them a break. I want to get a break. We're on the business district.
I think this needs an approval and it wasn't on the agenda.
Yeah, so I would indirectly say legally, I would caution you from taking any action with regard to that request, only because it was not on the published agenda, and theoretically, any members of the public who are here or not here could object to that action since it was not there. Now, you could request that perhaps it maybe be added to the next agenda,
Or the next committee.
the next committee meeting.
But the holiday starts this week, so I just thought maybe we could discuss it with Chief, that, you know.
So there is accommodation made for the holiday time periods. The day after Thanksgiving and any of the holidays that occur, there's no charge for parking. Saturdays are included in that. There's no charge for parking for the month of December, through the holidays. We're obviously in transition to
Is there any other business and or discussion? Okay, thank you all. Motion to adjourn. Okay, all in favor? Thank you all. Have a great night.
Mayor, excuse me.
Apparently this is, well, it's not for nothing.